Hello Prathom 5! We are now in the forces and friction, and our topic in this video is about forces and friction, definition and examples. Vocabulary words. Please repeat after me. Force, force. Spring balance, spring balance. Newton, Newton. Direction, direction. Resultant, resultant. Magnitude, magnitude. Same, same. Opposite, opposite. Friction, friction. Texture, texture. Rougher, rougher. Weight, weight. Heavier, heavier. Stay, stay. Grip, grip. Slipping, slipping. Heat, heat. Sharpens, sharpens. Smoothens, smoothens. Stops, stops. Wears out, wears out. Slows down, slows down. Noise, noise. Push, push. Pull, pull. A force is a push or pull acting on an object. This is a pushing force, and this one here is a pulling force. We use a spring balance to measure the strength of a force in Newton. So this is a spring balance. Newton is the measurement of the strength of a force. Therefore, Newton is the unit in measuring the strength of a force. We use an arrow to show the direction and magnitude of the force acting on an object. This is the arrow. And we can now tell the direction of force. The resultant force is a single force that has the same effect on the object as all the individual forces acting together. So each person exerts an effort or a force. You add it up and you will arrive 300 N, or this is the resultant force. We use an arrow to show the direction and magnitude of the force acting on an object. This is the magnitude, and this is the arrow. So we can now tell the direction and magnitude of a force. If both forces are acting in the same direction, the object will move in the same direction as the forces. For example, force A and force B are forces going to the right. So the resultant force is also going to the right. They are the same. If both forces are acting in the opposite directions, with force A is greater than force B, the object will move in the direction of force A. For example, force A and force B, and force A is greater than force B. Therefore, force A minus force B is equals the resultant force, and it is going to the right, because force A is going to the right. If both forces are acting in the opposite directions, with force B is greater than force A, the object will move in the direction of force B. Example, force B is greater than the force A. So, force B minus force A is equal to the resultant force. Force B is greater, so the direction of the force is going to the left because force B is going to the left. If both forces are acting equally on the object in the opposite directions, the object will not move as the resultant force is 0. So, if force A and force B coming from the opposite direction and they have the same force, the resultant force will be 0. What is friction? Friction occurs when two surfaces rub against each other. Okay, rubbing of two surfaces. This one here is the rough surface, and this one here is a smooth surface. Factors affecting friction includes the texture of the contacting surfaces. The rougher the two surfaces are, the greater the friction between them. So, the rougher surface here has the greater friction. Factors affecting friction includes the weight of the object. The sofa on the left weighs 50 kilograms and to the right is only 20 kilograms. So, the heavier the object, it's the greater friction. The heavier the object is, the greater the friction acting on it. So, this one here, 50 kilogram sofa, has a greater friction because it's heavier than this one. Friction enables object to stay still or stay like a ladder leaning against the wall. Without friction, it won't stay like this. Friction allows us to grip things tightly. So you can grip a glass of water without knowing that it would fall. There is a friction, so you can grip that glass. Friction prevents us from slipping when we walk. So this one here is a wet floor, so it has a lesser friction. So this girl slips. Okay. Friction produces heat when we strike a match to light it. This one is a match. So when there is a friction, it produces heat. Friction sharpens and smoothens the surfaces that are in contact. So this is a knife. So you can sharpen this knife by the use of friction. And also this one, it smoothens also the surface of the knife. Friction stops a moving object. In a bicycle, there is a brake and there is a brake pad. Okay? Because of friction, it stops the wheel of a bicycle. Shoes and tires are worn out when used due to friction. Friction wears out surfaces that are in contact. So because of friction, this tire and shoe worn out or wears out. Friction slows down a moving object. So this one here is much slower than this one because there is a higher friction in B than A. Friction produces unnecessary heat and noise. So the engine, this is the engine. Inside the engine, there is a friction and also it produces heat and unnecessary noise. A force is a push or pull. The arrow in a force diagram shows the direction and magnitude. The direction and the magnitude. Okay, it's time to answer your worksheet. Answer your worksheet test 1 items 1 to 30. Teacher D will guide you on how to answer your worksheet. Hello Prathom 5. It's time to answer your worksheet. This is your daily worksheet. Make sure that it is written here. Prathom 5, Science, week number 3, January. Okay, and the topic is about force, a push or pull. You write your name in here and the date that you answered this worksheet. Okay, test 1. Let's read the instruction. Write if it is a push or a pull. You write push or pull in this box. Okay, and then draw an arrow to show the direction of the force. Okay, first you determine if it is again. Hello Prathom 5, it's time to answer your worksheet. This is your daily worksheet. Make sure that it is written here, Prathom 5, Science, Week 3, January. And the topic is force, a push or pull. You write your name in here and the date, the moment you answered this worksheet. Let's read the first instruction, test 1. Write if it is a push or a pull. You write push or pull inside the box provided. And then draw an arrow to show the direction of the force. Okay? Number 1, for example. Okay, this one, a boy pushing a cart. Is it a push or a pull? Yes, it's a push. So you write push, P-U-S-H. And then you draw an arrow to show the direction of the force. Okay, the pushing force is going there. So you write an arrow here above, an arrow. Okay, as simple as that. So you answer number 2, 3 up to 5 here. And then at the back also there is also an items 6 up until number 10. Okay, that's your daily worksheet. And then your monthly worksheet, this one, test 1, Prathom 5, science worksheet, chapter 4, forces and friction, test 1, multiple choice. You circle the letter of the correct answer, only the letter, circle. Number 1, for example, a blank is a push or pull acting on an object. So the definition of this one, the answer is force, letter C. So you circle the letter only. Okay, that's as simple as that. You can answer number 2 up until at the back up until number 30. You will answer this one after you watch the video, and I'm sure you can answer all of these questions if you watch the video. Okay, that's for our worksheet. Alright, that's the end of our video, and I hope you learned something new. See you again in our next video. Bye bye.